Just a recent pickup.
We're live.
Yeah, hey everybody, this is a comic book club, not collector club to be confused with. This is just book club. And we're doing Superman Annual 3. And what year is that from, D?
1991, baby.
So 1991. This is D's pick, so he's going to lead off, and we're all going to let D take the lead. Then I'll go, then everybody will go, and then we'll all be doing our thing. All right, let's go, D.
All right, so I'm going to take you through a brief recap of the book. Superman doing Superman things, fighting crime, capturing prisoners. Then all of a sudden you see Wave Rider, and Matthew Ryder dude, who was in the last book that we reviewed. And basically, he is trying to find out who is going to become this supervillain of the year, Monarch. And because his identity is unknown, even to the Wave Rider. So it goes back in time, and he's so powerful in the future that he is wondering if the dude is Superman. So he grabs Superman on the boob without his consent,
That's true, actually.
And starts looking into his future. And then you see that Superman here is getting married. And then you see Mannheim accidentally detonates a nuclear warhead in Metropolis and kills everybody.
Mannheim has to be I just have to say this, has to be the stupidest criminal ever.
Yeah, no,
oops, I just knocked off a nuclear bomb.
It isn't just this. I mean, like, the character in general makes dumb decisions throughout the whole Superman run. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so then you get this where you see Superman, he's settling back down with Lana, and then you see him in a new costume. He's underwater. What he's doing here,
it's a very Shazam costume, by the way.
Yeah. He is raising a nuclear submarine. And he's doing that because he's pretty much told the whole world that weapons of mass destruction will no longer be allowed. And he sinks the ship. He tells them all to get off the boat, and he sinks it. He's just like, yeah, that's not permitted anymore. Here you got the president. They're mad about Superman doing shit, because he's disarming fighter jets and.
Well, also there's a conspiracy. Well, not conspiracy, but there's the belief that 3 sailors died.
Yeah.
When he took out the sub, and that actually is a major plot point.
Yeah. So then Superman pops down and tells him pretty much like, "Hey, bro, I'm gonna keep doing this. There's no more weapons coming out." And then Batman gets involved, and the president literally comes to talk to Batman and says, "Hey, Batman, do me a solid and kill Superman, right?"
Yeah, it's kind of messed up.
Because, Batman's known for his killer ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Batman pretty much is like, "Nah, I'm good, bro." And you see Superman. He's going back to the Smallville farm where Lana is living, and his mom is there. His mom has Alzheimer's, so he's not as happy as he used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then long conversation over dinner where you start to notice Superman, or Clark Kent now, is referring to Superman. Yeah, he's referring to Superman as if Superman is a different person.
Yeah.
Which is a little goofy. And it gets
he's a bit
wild right here where he says, "You'll be safe here, Mrs. Kent. The tunnels are so vast and complex, you'll never find this place." He calls his wife Mrs. Kent when he's Superman, because it's not Superman's wife, it's Clark's wife. Mm-hmm. Hey, then he sends old Timmy Drake in there to go look at the files to see if Superman really did kill those sailors, and he did. He didn't know about it, but he did kill them. Then the Justice League is like, "Hey, bro, let's have a little chat." Superman punches him for a little bit.
And then kills Martian Manhunter.
Yep. Martian Manhunter freaking has a heart attack.
Martian Manhunter's fear kills Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. He doesn't actually get hurt, but mentally he dies.
Mm-hmm.
Because of,
So then
The anyway, sorry.
His fear of fire.
Fighter jets start tracking down Superman, and he kind of realizes that his whole underground tunnel system has been discovered. So he gets the family up out of Smallville, and Batman's like, "Hey, I know I'm not into the killing thing, but I'm gonna do it, bro." And he gets out the ring, and then kind of recreate a pretty classic panel there.
Well, it's Spider-Man, Superman versus Batman.
Yeah.
Battle.
And
Fairly similar. Even he had the special armor that
Yeah.
he wore.
Yeah.
and they start to punch for a bit, which is cool.
The armor they used actually in the movie was inspired by this book.
Was?
It was. I was looking
Yeah, I
up.
would
I was
imagine.
looking up. I was trying to see little factoids about the book for the sake of this discussion, and apparently that was actually one of the inspirations for the bat suit.
But they didn't do the Martha thing.
No,
There's no.
that was all.
And then Batman gets the ring back and literally kills Superman. Superman dead.
Yeah. The other little minor thing about this book is this is the first time you see Batman use that ring that Superman ever gave him in any situation.
Yeah.
So then the book ends with Wave Rider going, "Man, I wonder if Batman is Monarch." And that's where the story ends. So, so Biggie, I forget, what are my categories here?
You got cover, and then story, and then inside art, and overall.
Can we just discuss one point before we get to this point?
Sure.
How guilty do you really think Superman is? If they lead-lined things so that he couldn't see those three
nuclear
sailors,
reactor.
you know?
Yeah, but that's the thing. A nuclear reactor is lead line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He knows
he
that.
should have realized that. He should have realized that when he went in. So to me, this makes him guilty of negligent homicide. But I wanted to think of you guys at first.
And
Well, that's what it
also
was.
probably treason, which is
And
death
treason.
penalty.
It was already
Yeah.
treason when he attacked the sub.
It was already treason when he attacked the sub. And technically, it's only treason if you consider yourself a citizen of that country. Otherwise, it's just an act of war or terrorism.
I'm still not sure that he did it. I want to believe Superman didn't do it. If Superman thinks he didn't, then I'm rolling with that. But I hear y'all.
Well, no, but I think this book goes out of its way to prove that he mentally
did do it.
insane.
It also brings up.
They show the dog tags. He did kill them. Whether he was he didn't
Dog tags can be fake,
plan to
but
kill them. But,
you know.
Yeah, they found the proof.
yeah.
But yeah, so but hey, for me, like, I really like the cover. It's cool. It's not beautiful art though. It's just cool comic book art. So I'm gonna give the cover like a 2.5.
Okay.
I got to start judging it on a harder scale because I
thought the cover was really weak. I wouldn't have picked this book up if I saw it on the newsstand.
So 2.5 on that. I go 4 on the back cover though. 4. What's my next category, Big?
Story.
Story. Yeah.
Story. I enjoyed the story. I think it's a cool one-issue read, even though there's a to be continued aspect to it, but it concludes what happens with Superman in the future, quote unquote.
And do you know if they did the to be continued part 2?
No, I haven't read the other parts of this yet, so it's something I actually want to do.
Are there actual? That's why I was just curious if they actually.
Yeah,
did.
no,
I don't know.
It's that Armageddon 2001 storyline.
Oh, okay.
So it went across a bunch of different titles.
Okay.
Yeah, no, actually, all annuals that year were part of this story.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were 21 of them.
Kind of like in during the Return of Superman storyline, they had an annuals event called Bloodlines, and that went across all the different annual
Yeah.
titles.
The thing is that was still only half of the DC titles at the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
But so story, I'm gonna give a 3.5. I like the story. Fun read. It did get a little wordy, but the words I think completed the story. It didn't. I didn't feel a lot of filler in here. You know, like they were jamming a lot in there. Then I'm gonna do what? Interior art.
Interior art.
Interior art. I'll give it 3. I think it's a little bit better than the cover. It's definitely inspired by John Byrne, and you can tell Dan Jurgens did not do the interior art in this. He wrote it, but you can tell that Dan Jurgens picked up a lot of inspiration from this style of art as well. But pages like this right here just really draw me in. I love that so much. That is so
Yeah,
cool.
that splash page.
It's a good splash
It's
page.
underwater, so it is a splash page. That splash page is really good.
And it really matches well with the comic art during this era. In 1991, like a lot of books are drawn with similar detail, with similar colors, and I enjoyed it a lot. So, what did I do with the
Overall,
now I got my overall.
Yeah, overall.
Overall, I'm gonna give her a 3. I had a 2.5, a 3.5, a 3, and my average is a 3. So I'm gonna go a 3 for Superman Annual number 3. And yeah, this is the first comic book I ever picked up when I was a kid. So I like this one.
Good one to pick up, actually.
Yeah.
JSS, quick question. He's got a question about Batman in the Golden Age. JSS, Batman did kill a little bit in the Golden Age, but only if he had to. And Alfred wasn't part of it. Alfred wasn't there yet when he did it. He only killed before he had Robin. And
he also would carry a gun too.
Yeah, he
didn't have to kill everyone. I saw one where he just kicked a dude in the head and broke his neck.
Yeah,
that was not
but
totally.
Remember,
necessary.
he blatantly shot the giant guys in Batman 1.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, it was the Doctor's evil henchman or something. All right.
Yeah, Dr. Death, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Armageddon 2001, Superman 1991 Annual 3. This is the cover. This is the first time I read this. Now, so we did a 3-book series, 3 or 4 book series the first time, and then we did a Silver Age Kirby Stan Lee book, which is a little wordy, So coming into this, I was like, oh, good, we're going to do a modern book. So this is going to probably be a quick read. I forgot it was an annual. So it was a little longer. So I went under pretenses thinking, oh, this might be a short one. And I kept reading and I'm like, when is this fucking thing going to end? It just keeps going and going and going. But anyway, all right. And I'm not saying it was bad. It's good. I'm just going to give you my thing. All right. So I feel like a lot of the inside art was spotty. Some of it was not that great, and some of it was real entertaining. So when I saw a lot of line work, I was like intrigued. I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. Now this panel, the very first one you see, his face is a little mousy. Yep. The nose is pointy.
I found like he would kind of look goofy throughout the book, actually.
Yeah, the facial features are not it, dude. They're not it. No. Okay. And then you get this stuff going on, and starts off with a prison scene or something.
Yeah.
And Superman.
They wanted to show that he really cared about people, that he would, scare them but not actually kill them. And he wouldn't even interrogate them. He thought, oh, I could totally terrify these guys, but
Now you see this guy's face. He looks just like a rat. Like that face right there, very mousy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love the lines. Superman looks pretty good on that face shot. Now this stuff is kind of what I like. You got the machinery, you got the space jet, air stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, there's some skill in there. I like the inside art. I like that big thing. Reminds me of like Kirby machinery. This stuff knocked me out. I'm like, oh yeah, this is good stuff right here.
Oh, with Wave Rider, yeah.
Yeah, that looks good. I'm a big Wave Rider guy. From Wave Rider kind of seems like the Watcher and Silver Surfer mixed together kind of deal. He's kind of like judging
He reminds
our
me of
world.
Silver Surfer a lot, actually.
Hey, Biggie, they want you to do the full screen for yourself while you're showing the panels.
Oh, all right. So yeah, these panels are good. These are not bad panels. I like those. That's what I mean. It's like off and on.
Yeah, the art is very
Inconsistent.
it's very inconsistent. Giordano, for example, is part of the inking crew on this one, and he's not his usual self in this one.
Yeah, these buildings are great. That's good stuff. Lois Lane, again, kind of little mousy even for a girl. Kind of got the mousy thing.
She had that sort of 90s man suit that they would wear. You know, those big shoulder pads. I never liked that stuff.
I mean, this ain't bad art. It's just not blowing me away. Okay, here comes some more. You see this face right here by Superman. It's like,
well, that you can't see Wave Rider's other hand. It's right in his butt.
oh. Yeah.
I can imagine that. I think that might be the case.
Sorry, I ain't holding it still, but yeah, it's a little not perfect. Oh yeah, the woman's face, a little googly eyed. That's not good. It's not good. Now this is beautiful. I don't know who did this, but this is the best page.
Oh, with the wedding thing. Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, I mean, Lois's neck is about 5 inches too long, but you know.
Looks like she's a W on her neck.
Yeah,
that's good though. I mean, besides the length of the neck, and like D said, you know, Metropolis gets nuked, and Superman is shook. And
yeah, I think they wanted to show that was the thing that kind of set him down this wrong path, right?
Yeah, and then you get to this one, and the faces ain't doing it for me there. It kind of like a Spawn cape and not cow, but cape and.
Well, as I said, it reminds me of Shazam.
Right.
With those big things on the.
Yeah.
And then like D said, now I do like these smaller figures of Superman with the cape. That's beautiful. I love that. Beautiful stuff. When you get a little closer to him, it's like a little bell bottomy with the cape. Or Captain Marvel like. And he puts them all in rafts, and the guys are like, "What the hell, Superman? You're our boy. You're supposed to take care of us." And Superman's like, "I ain't got no time for your bullshit. We're sinking this ship." Very George Bush-like president, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But George Bush the first was president then.
He was.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, these faces are almost Mad Magazine like, you know.
Yeah.
The lighter side of Superman blowing up the world.
So the White House is discussing how they're going to get Superman. I like this panel of him outside the window. Like, oh, you're talking about me? What's up, fam? You know, he's like, here I am. It looks hardcore as shit. I enjoyed that. It was a good read. It was, you know, I got through the pages fast. There weren't a bunch of words like the Black Panther. And then you feel the whole vibe change when it went to Batman. It felt very much like a Batman comic. You got Batman. I enjoyed that little shift in the way it was going. Batman's like, you want me to kill him? He's my boy. I don't think so, but I will check it out. And President's like really kind of a douchebag in this, in my opinion.
Well, the president seems really shady.
Yeah.
Like,
he's just like, kill Superman. He messed up once. Let's kill him now.
Well, you know, he had to break his promise about no new taxes, right? So
now when I see Superman coming in and out of the tunnels in the ground, that reminds me very much of like Golden Age, Silver Age books. There was a lot of that stuff back then, so that was cool. I like that. I didn't like the parents having the diseases, the dad being gone and the mom being Alzheimer.
Demented.
Yeah, the dementia and all that. I was just like,
Hey, someone check on Steppo there. He was begging for Biggie to go big screen, and
Okay.
now he's wondering where the rest of it goes.
Okay. There have been problems being reported about StreamYard all over the world tonight.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, really?
People have been
what
having
things?
issues. I've watched about 4 or 5 different live broadcasts tonight, today, and people have been having problems with StreamYard all day.
Now the square chin, it's a little bit too much chin. Now his face is morphing into different shapes.
Well, sometimes he looks really goofy, and then sometimes he looks very angular. It's really weird.
Yeah. And
Like,
then you get this.
I think the art was really inconsistent.
It was seemed like
yes, it
4 or
was.
5 people were doing it at the same
Well,
time.
I was going to say there are 4 artist lists on this book, and Jurgens did the preliminary sketches to sort of plot the thing. So basically, you had 5 different artists doing pages in this book, and
Yeah, I think some artists were better than others.
yes,
so I just rewound the video here, and what happened was when the first time we had the layout like this with Biggie, Biggie's image did not appear on YouTube at all.
Oh, really?
So they just
So
showed
it's
the
just a black
NWO
screen
logo.
with Biggie?
Yeah, and then the 3 of us on the side.
Oh,
And
weird.
then when he went full screen, he showed up, and now he's back again. Like we're good. In this,
Okay,
this
that's
channel
like
right
I
now.
said, there's been problems with StreamYard all night, and that seems to have actually been one of the complaints.
No, I was just worried about Steppo. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know there was issues.
So he's fighting Martian Manhunter. He whacks him and it kills him. But Superman does say, like, I've done that to him before and it hasn't killed him. Well, he had a heart attack because he was so scared. So Superman accidentally kills the soldiers, and I'm still not 1,000,000% sure that happened. Like I said, and Matt, you could fake dog tags. As shady as the president was, I'm going to trust Superman more than the president, just the way the president was acting. I think this is a very noble Superman. You know, he was not trying to kill people. He's just trying to make the world better because of what he's been through.
You know,
And that's the way I
the
took it.
road to hell is paved with good intentions.
And I was just going to say that.
Yeah, it's sort of that's what the real message in this thing is. That, you know, when you try to be so good that you want everyone else to be good, and you're almost like a control freak. That's maybe the very thing that Wave Rider is trying to avoid, which is that guy becoming the Monarch. The Monarch is somebody that controls all of Earth. He lets, nobody gets to decide how they run their lives because the Monarch decides everything. And, the path to that can be very simple. Like, I don't want to have anyone hurt each other. If I do this, I can protect against that. And after a while, you're basically becoming a dictator.
Yeah, why does this fire hydrant have doodads and shit on it too? I don't understand.
Oh yeah, that's a special fire hydrant.
I don't know what the hell's going on exactly.
The Canadian fire hydrant.
Batman gets his
Canadian
kryptonite
fire
ring out, and this is basically like Frank Miller Batman, I guess. And this is before that probably, or maybe not.
Maybe it's supposed to represent future technology.
Yeah, and then Superman.
It is supposed to be the future, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, far into the future, where
Okay. So I finished it. It was pretty lengthy. It was like 46 pages. Not just your average modern comic book. Maybe my grade's going to be harsher because it was a little longer. But I don't think that long comic books kill my attention. I just didn't like. I didn't like the politics in it and the freaking American president being like all weird, and it just, and not even, it didn't even feel like a real Superman story. It was just too much of an Elseworlds thing for me. And I like good classic, like wholesome, this is my Superman. So the outfit didn't do it. The spotty art didn't do it. The cover didn't do it. The cover I'm going to give a 2.0. And let's see. Do private chat. Biggie scores. I don't know what the chat thinks of the cover, but that's what I'm going. All right,
Okay.
2.0. And then what's next? The story.
Story, yeah.
Story. I'm gonna go 2.5 out of 5. It's average. Not the worst. I enjoyed it. It's not something. I mean, I would have read it again. I just didn't have enough time. I feel like maybe it was better on a second read kind of deal because I was looking back at it and it was a little more entertaining a little bit. All right. Then it's story. No, I did story. No, it's inside art. Inside art, I'm giving a fucking 1.5. Fuck that. Fuck that shit, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, inside art was pretty crap.
It was fucked up, bro. Okay. And overall, I'm going to go a little higher because I feel like it was a little hard. So I'm going to go 3. I'm going to give it a 3. All right. Your turn. You want to go next, Alan?
Sure.
Okay.
So for me, it's a little bit different than this. I actually enjoyed the story. I like the idea of, seeing that future path and how it can play out, especially where people think that they can take the law and into their own hands and decide what's best for others. I kind of think that's a really cool story idea to kind of pursue. And I like the idea of, seeing that mystery of whether or not Superman is going to be the monarch. I mean, and I thought that was cool. And I was really kind of pleased to see that this was kind of very related to Superman versus Batman. I thought that was, oh, wow. So this is where the story came from. So I didn't know that going into it. So I was like, oh, this is kind of cool that way. There was a couple of weird things, though. I was surprised when Batman said, oh, this is Kryptonite ring, as if he had never, like, if it was like a new thing for them. Like, by this time, Kryptonite has been overused within the DCU, but oh well. So I just thought that was a little weird. But the thing that really bothered me about this whole story was the spotty art. I mean, the art was just lackluster. It had moments of really good parts. There was part where Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne meet at his house, and I couldn't tell who was who. they both looked the same. I was like, what's going on here? But you could tell by what they were saying who was who. But there was no real the art style like didn't really allow them to look different from each other. And then other parts, I thought he looked so goofy, like just like almost like a caricature of Superman. I did like the way that it showed him kind of having that mental breakdown where he started referring to himself in the third person, where you could see that he really I like the fact that he's still trying to maintain that goodness, but at the same time you can see that he's going down this wrong path. I kind of like that. I like the fact that his last word was Lois instead of Lana. I thought that was cute. So all those elements I have to kind of mention. So I really didn't like the cover. I thought, like, if I saw this on the newsstand, as I said, I would never buy this book. I just like, this looks like crap. I'd give it a 1. Just because it's just so non-interesting. Something about it just doesn't appeal to me. And then the inside art, I'll do that as well. I think Biggie, you nailed it with that, with your take on it, like 1.5. Like just like it had moments of being actually pretty cool, and then other moments where it's like, why? It's just all over the place. However, I did like the story actually, so I'm going to give the story a fairly high review. I'll give it like a 3 out of 5. I felt like it kind of ended abruptly. Oh, Superman's dead. No warning. It was just like Superman's dead. And then they actually left with 2 mysteries. One is Batman the monarch, or is it some other person? And then also the mystery of well, this is a future that he's seeing into when he touches Superman. He sees this future, this possible future. But they didn't suggest whether or not anything was going to change. This is maybe just going to continue to be the future. Like, so that was another thing that they kind of set up, which I thought was interesting. Like, was a little bit annoying that it wasn't resolved in a way. Yeah, so overall, I give this a 2.5. Okay, so that's.
I like it. I think you did very well.
Yeah.
All right, let's do Big Matt and the finisher up.
Okay. Everybody knows what the story is by now, so I'm not going to review over the story. The only problem I per se have, as I said, is like, and it's because of my personal training, the legal parts of it is like, and the is this a conspiracy by the government or not? I mean, Superman is too hyper focused, so I could see him missing the lead in the
nuclear reactor. I really do think. I think they make it definitive that he did kill them, not intentionally, but yeah.
Well, I also feel like Superman made it clear that he checked the thing, because when he checked it, he didn't say to himself, "Oh, I can't see because of the lead." He just said, "I checked it." So,
but he does have the see. Even though lead stops his vision, it doesn't stop his super hearing. And there's been many examples over the years of him. I could hear behind the lead that can hear their heartbeats, like that kind of thing. But the thing is, I will go with that. He was so hyper focused on getting the nukes that he might have missed that. So yes. I will give the benefit of the doubt in the sense that, yes, they were there.
I think they tried to reinforce it with him killing the Martian Manhunter, that he didn't think about, hey, Martian Manhunter's nervous about fire, and that could cause his death. So I think they were showing the negligence within Superman.
Well, that's the other thing. Here's the other, this one was actually done in court, and it's still really, you shoot somebody, but that person is already dead, but you shot them with the intention of killing. Does that make it a murder charge, or is it, or do you get off the hook because
I think that's actually a murder charge that you get.
Like it is a murder charge because the intent was there. The intent was there and the act was there. That the actual end result was different. Is my point was it was talked about. So as far as I'm concerned, he is guilty of negligent homicide in the death of the Martian Manhunter because he knows he's going to be scared. He knows that could set off a fatal heart attack, even if he doesn't really die. So, it's the same thing if you were to knowing I was claustrophobic, for example, and putting me in a closet and tying it in the closet. But you don't know I have.
You're safe in the closet, but you're gonna panic and die.
I'm gonna panic because I can't get out. And for a guy like a guy with a weak heart, that could be fatal, right? So,
sorry, Collecta, you're wrong on this one. Collecta's saying if you shoot a corpse, it ain't murder. It is actually technically murder.
It's actually technically murder, and there's jurisprudence towards that.
Yeah, I've heard that.
A Canadian law? I'm not trying to be funny.
No, it is in Canada. It may be different in the United States, but it is a Canadian law. It was a decision by our Supreme Court.
Because, for me, if you murder, to me, is the taking of a life. And if life has already been taken, like that in the U.S., there are charges against desecrating a corpse.
And D, you got lucky in that sense because in Canada, I broke into the house. I saw you sitting in the chair like this. I shot you in the back of the head. I didn't know you'd already had a fatal heart attack an hour ago. For all I know, you were breathing and moving and all that stuff. The intention was there. I acted on it. Those two components from the Canadian law system are considered. I did it with intention, and I did the actual act. So, anyway, so beside that point, let's get to the ratings. Cover, I give it a 1.5, and the only reason I'm giving it that half is because I like the colors.
Oh,
the interior art is an example of why I do not like the early to mid 90s art-wise, with the exception of 2 or 3 artists like Jim Aparo.
Mhm.
I find this was the beginning of when the art started going overall.
It's very spotty. Very
It
spotty.
it looks like because of the the immense. They started printing so many different new titles. They needed artists, and they basically got anybody with a heartbeat that could, make a circle on a paper. I feel, and so I give the art a 1 in the interior. Now for the writing, I give the writing a 4.5 because the story itself, I found it really enjoyable.
Mhm.
Okay. I found it so fun to read. I enjoyed it. If this was a text story, I would have had the same enjoyment. Might have even enjoyed it a little more because I didn't have the bad art throwing it off. Like I would agree with Biggie that there was the odd good panel, and I do like the splash page of him looking like Shazam under the water. That is the best panel in the entire book.
Yeah.
But, to me, getting Batman in and Batman thinking things through, getting Tim to do detective work, that was brilliant. To me, that was really brilliant and really good thinking
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, I thought it was good that way too.
So I will give the story a 4, and overall,
You
because
said 4.5. You said 4.5.
Sorry, yes, 4.5.
Okay.
I will give the story a 4.5, and thus overall, I will give the book a 2 3/4 because it's not quite 3 and it's not quite 2.5.
Oh.
Because the writing saves the book.
Yeah, the writing does save the book.
The
And
writing
writing's good.
makes the book worth the price of admission.
Mhm.
All right, I'll let
Okay.
you guys discuss the book as a whole, and I'll be back with the total score.
Mm-hmm.
So this was a good choice, Steve. Though I have to give you credit on that.
Well,
Yes.
For me, one of my favorite things about this is, one, it was the first book I ever read as a kid, and it also seems like a very big inspiration for the DC Injustice Gods Among Us storyline.
Okay.
They made a video game out of it where Superman actually
evil?
gets tricked into killing Lois, and
Oh man.
there is. Do you know the storyline at all?
No, not
You
at
mind?
all.
Do you care if I spoil it?
No, I
Okay, so basically, the Joker kidnaps Lois, does an operation on her, puts like a heartbeat trigger or sensor on her.
Yeah, I
So
remember.
once her heartbeat stops, it would detonate a nuclear bomb. So he gives Superman scarecrow toxin laced with kryptonite. Superman breaks in and sees Lois and thinks it's Doomsday, and
he
punches
kills
her through the sub and brings her into space. And just as it wears off, he sees it's Lois and he hears her heartbeat stop.
I think she would just splat if he tried to like punch her or something.
I know, it's comic.
I'm just saying.
But then so he just realizes he killed Lois Lane, and then he looks down and he sees the nuclear bomb go off and it destroys Metropolis.
Okay. So similar but different order, but yeah.
Yeah. But so he comes down, he absolutely executes the Joker.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
And then he takes over. In more extreme fashion than he did in this book. He wipes out all war mechanisms. He topples governments that don't fall in line. And then the heroes actually split up. Like half of them are like, yeah, Superman needs to do this. We can't have any more Metropolis nuclear disasters. And but to me, it took a good inspiration from this. It was fun to reread this after enjoying that. It's a fun read.
Yeah, I think that
sounds cool.
I think after hearing what Matt said about the whole your beliefs on if you believe what the president said or the Superman said, if I'd have looked at it in that point of view, I probably would have scored it higher. So that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You did have that mysterious factor that I didn't really factor in. I just kind of believe Superman because it's what I do. But that wasn't normal Superman. We got normal Batman. We didn't get normal Superman. We got a little weirder.
Well, he got
Batman
traumatized.
did.
Superman, right? He's like
Superman was traumatized because his wife,
everyone
his
he knew.
true love died literally on their wedding day in an explosion that also took out just about every other person he loved. And
Yeah.
that was in Metropolis. I mean, when you think about it, just about everybody he knew would have been at that wedding.
Yeah.
Okay.
He cares more about Metropolis than himself.
So
if you
I
really
don't
know.
understand. Okay, I can understand why Lana wasn't there, but I don't understand why his mom and dad weren't there.
His
True.
parents suck, is what you're saying.
Well, hold on. Here's the deal, Matt. I think you are the panels were next to each other. The wedding, and then you
Yeah,
saw
I don't
Mannheim.
think it was the same time period, but
It wasn't the same day because later on in the story they talk about Superman kicking himself for not stopping the guy that had
Yeah.
the trigger, his finger on the trigger.
Oh.
So I see how you got confused by that because it was they're
Yeah, I
married and the next page nuclear bomb. So
I didn't think it was the same day, but
Okay, sorry. Well, then that still okay. That changes it even more in the sense that it makes him even more because he had a little more time with Lois. Lois was his love. I felt bad for Lana in the book because how did you feel knowing your second choice?
well,
But
and also she was Rebound Girl,
yes, I know.
and they almost made it seem like he didn't truly love her. She was just there to
Yeah.
support, like it's pretty brutal
well,
actually.
and
If you read the stories at the time, the main comic, Lana is really bitter
Okay,
with Clark
wow.
over
Okay.
like I mean, she loves him, she'll always love him, but she's bitter for what he put her through.
Oh wow.
And he didn't do it on purpose. How was he to know?
Hmm.
I mean, like it starts in the Man of Steel series and it moves on. The fact, though, is like if you read Superman 2, where she was kidnapped by Luthor and tortured and beaten to try and get out of, do you know who Superman is? Which was hilarious because even the computer said it was Clark Kent, and Luthor dismissed it because he's like, a guy as powerful as him would never consent to be a human and hide it. Like his own ego wouldn't let him see that
The truth.
what was
Yeah.
in front of his face as the truth, and that's why he never gets that Clark Kent is Superman.
Mm.
You remember what you was gonna say, D?
nah,
No, that's all right. You
Anyway.
see,
no, we're good.
all right. So the total score for out of 80 points, we all scored. We all had 20 points we could give it. It came up to 38.75, and
So it's a failing grade. By the
yeah,
way.
that interior art really smashed it. But
Yes, the interior art was just horrible.
it was. I mean, I was a little harsh on it, but I felt like I graded it okay. I'm just
No, you're right. It had its moments. It's just
It had its moments, and the thing is, as I said, overall the writing is great. And
The
as
writing-
I've always said, good writing can make bad art more passable, but good art cannot save bad writing.
it had like three or four good bullet points. Martian Manhunter. You had Batman coming into it, and you had the guys on the submarine, and the Metropolis, whatever. And the rest of it just felt like it was just kind of dragging it. So for me, if I enjoy a comic, I want each panel to be dynamic. I want like, bam, in your face. I want blood, guts. I want a lot of stuff going on, something to make me think. Like the Black Panther, there was 5 wars in that one issue. It was very bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
But it was a thinker. It was a thinker, and I appreciate it for that. And I think it was a very good suggestion. So our next book is either going to be Matt or Alan. I think we decided Alan was picking the next one.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I won't. So just, I will not be at this next one next Wednesday. I will be out of town.
Okay.
So I'm sort of debating about two different ones. I'm thinking I'm going to go with the one that here. I'm going to grab it. 1 second.
Okay.
It's right in front of me, so it's easy to grab. It's one of my giveaway comics. My favorite
Wow.
story.
Very
So
nice.
I want you guys to check this book out. I'm going to send you a link so you can read it.
Okay.
It is Uncle Scrooge number 15, a nice golden age book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really cool story. It's just a fun story Very different than these superhero stories. So if you're expecting superhero, this is not that. But it is a cool story.
I do
Yeah.
expect to learn how to dive into a bucket full of money.
Well, yeah. Only the rich can do that. It's a skill.
Step,
you
step
learn.
one, get a bucket full of money.
Yeah, step
Yes.
one.
If
Not just a bucket. You need a good,
Listen, there are nickels in there. I can go get nickels.
if it's just me, Alan, and D, that's fine. But if someone wants to pop in and take Alan's spot, we'll take
Matt's
care of that
spot, yeah.
too. Matt's spot, exactly. So that's it, guys. I think that we handled that well. You guys, I appreciate all y'all coming in. Everybody in the chat, we had a nice little chat going for a minute, and that has been the Comic Book Club. We will see y'all in 7 days, and we will be reviewing Donald Duck 15.
No, Uncle Scrooge 50.
Oh, Uncle Scrooge 15. I'm sorry, I got the number right, and I got the name wrong. My fault.
Yeah.
All right, guys. See y'all later. See y'all
I will
later.
still read it if that will help.
Yeah, you can read it.
I mean, I could read it and throw a review to one of you guys to read for me if you'd like. I mean,
Yeah, and you could still have the next pick too, man. No problem.
mhm.
This has been the Biggie Shack Comic Network. We will see y'all soon.